This is an open letter to the Sane Society. I was thinking, consider that there is an alien has a technology that can be invisible or visible at will. And imagine such an alien comes for the first time for that race. The alien comes on Earth, and they're trying to find out whether they can be friendly to these people, so then they can make themselves visible. But imagine that just a walk in the meat market is enough that the alien would feel very unwelcomed. A lot of countries have meat markets, and just a walk down the meat market, or a lot of, forget about meat market, grocery stores, they all have a meat section, cut up animals of all shapes and sizes, and from mammals to birds to fish to, and if it walks, if runs, whatever, it's on the menu, it's on the plate. And imagine alien comes and he walks as in an invisible manner. He walks and sees all these meat products, and it would be difficult convincing him or her, the alien, to make it itself visible, because he rightly believes that he may end up on the table for dinner. Not around the table, on the table as dinner. So just I mean, you have to consider that the alien probably has perfected the technology of providing providing protein and fat in a less bloody manner. But you can be sure that in whatever transportation that it was used, you can be sure they don't have barnyards, and you can be sure they don't have freezers full of carcasses. So they have accepted to produce a kind of protein sustenance that is needed, protein and fat that is needed, and hopefully delicious as well, without the use of without a whole lot of killing. So I'm trying to say is that it seems the meat factory, the meat factories, it's eventually has to happen. Meat factories it has to happen, because no alien wants to be added to the meat heavy menu that humans have. And it's just because in Africa they kill monkeys and eat them, although it's very close in terms of shape and behavior. Monkeys are very close to humans. You don't want to call them cousins, okay, they're very close in terms of at least the body layout and the movement and the somewhat of the intelligence. So they're very close, and we still eat them. And in not to leave the Norwegians and the Scandinavians out of it either, they have a very old tradition of hunting whales, and uh, they still do hunt dolphins in some Scandinavian countries. Actually, the law allows some harvesting of dolphins to some companies in the land. You know, you say it's part of our tradition. Screw you. Okay, fine. But the point is this: that they dolphins, whales, which we know they're very you know they haven't evolved the kind of intelligence to make tools, but who would want to? Whales rule the oceans. Those big whales, once they're born, they have very few predators. The shark whale is the only predators that other whales have, which means that shark whale probably has no predators. Period. And the big whales, the shark whales is stay away from the really big ones as well. So why is there a need for tool? The creature may be very intelligent and living a very fruitful life, having a lot of experiences in the ocean, and then dying without the need to go to the moon. But anyway, so they have other kinds of intelligence, but nevertheless, what I'm trying to get is they had other kinds of intelligence, but nevertheless they ended up as dinner for a very long history of Earth, until recently. And the dolphins still some places harvested, the sharks certainly are harvested. So basically nothing is off the table. Yeah. The poor pigs are off the table in Muslim countries, but and somebody had a lot of fun with some pigs, decided to spare them. Absolutely. So they gave the pigs the honor of not eating them. Probably because pigs are very intelligent. Whoever decided let's not eat them has had, noticed they're very intelligent creatures. So anyway, off the menu. But my point is this, that any alien would consider all these creatures on your menu as an existential threat to make themselves visible and come and shake your hands. It has to be proven that you're not going to hunt them tomorrow because they can't speak English to me. If they can't speak English, we hunt them. Proper English, Queen's English. If they can't speak Queen's English, they're on the menu. Yeah. This was the thing. I mean, especially the British and the French, who literally harvested humans in Africa. Harvest in terms of, considering humans in Africa as chattel, as horses and donkeys, and here of some of the natives of this land that I saw fit to make work this land for me. This is how the colonialism works. The Europeans going in and saying, okay, I take your land and make you work on the land that I just took from you, and then I get 90% of the income, and I feed and clothe you with the 10% of the income. This is how Europeans treated Africans, Asians. Indians of Americas. Everybody was on the menu, everybody was somehow related to the British and French making money. Everything was somehow related to how we can use the Africans to make money, how we use the Asians to make money, if we sell them opium as an addictive product, in this way we can, keep them weak and dissociated, so we can rule them and use them as slaves and slave labor and very cheap labor, and how we can dominate them. And which alien would want to actually touch a British hand? Which alien would want to touch a British hand or a French hand? It's sort of like, nope, I don't want to be on the menu. You have no conscience, you have no respect for life, the British and the French. And whoever is following in the British and the French tradition. No, I'm sorry, Mr. John Stewart. I'm sorry, you seem to be on the British side. That's the wrong side to be, sir. Because how many times the French and the British attacked Russia and the Germans? Everybody from this side has attacked Russia. We are talking about the current history, this current, within last 500 years. I'm not talking about even the ancient history. The last 300 years, the last 200 years. What I know of the history, and my history might not be my best subject, but every time the Europeans have gone to Asia, attack Asia for resources and land. This is no different. Bringing Ukraine into NATO, that means, okay, this land also totally belongs to Europeans. And Russia, after so many times being attacked by Europe, is very worried. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. So I think, as always, the British are on the wrong side, and Uncle Sam's managers, those who decide to follow the British lead, is going down the wrong path again. It's the path of conflict between Europe and Russia. Again, and we see why. We see why, because it's such a it's a money-making machine, this business of frontier running that you guys got on Earth. The Uncle Sam's managers have got this business of frontier running a lot of frontiers around the world in order to move the wheels of economy. I guess without bloodshed, the economy doesn't move. I mean, an alien would get scared of shaking hands with you because it seems, a whole economic system of the baddest country on the planet, their whole economic system is frontier based on creating frontiers and trying to suppress the natives somewhere over there. In West Asia, in Europe, East China, where else? South America, where else? You see where I'm going with this? It's a frontier running, creating a lot of frontiers to create a lot of economic activity. First, it's the funding that goes for these very expensive military equipment, which probably have got a 90% markup. But still, that's not the important part. Yes, there are very people. Some people are getting filthy rich, but that's not the important part. The important part is that uh, this this the important part is the all the money that goes for the military to open up that area. And now, as this theater is going, Mr. Trump is trying to cash all those checks that was written. Basically, a lot of equipment was sent by Uncle Sam's managers to Ukraine, used up, and now the next president comes and say, okay, now you owe us that money, turn to us your land. Because you owe us that money, that, all the weapons that you just used. It seems to me like a two-play act. The one play is the Mrs. Noland or the neocons go write the check, and then the Republicans go cash the check. Neocons go write the check, Republicans go cash the check for all these frontier business. They write the check by providing the weapons and creating a frontier there. And then Mr. Trump, as he went to Israel and said, yeah, okay, now, okay, Gaza for us. Literally trying to cash all the checks of weapons that Mr. Biden had written. These weapons were given. Now the Israelis have to pay back for the money of those weapons. Therefore, Mr. Trump said, okay, we spend the money to get Gaza, and all that weapons cost money, so now United States owns Gaza. And he's right. But what kind of a right? This is a two-play act. One play goes and destabilize the whole region, the whole country, and then the whole system, and once it's settled, the other side goes in and say, okay, thank you very much for the activity that you did here. Thank you, the Ukrainian president. Thank you, Mr. Netanyahu. You used our weapons to clear the land for us. And yes, thank you very much. We like the land now, as Mr. Trump was trying to buy Ukraine. Salute. But I don't think this is a two-party system. This is a uniparty with a two-play act. And who are the beneficiaries of these two-play acts is basically, whatever company bought those Chinese ports around Panama Canal, that was the winner. That corporation who bought it was BlackRock, by the way. BlackRock bought the Chinese ports, I guess two of them, on both sides of the canal. So in a way, it's sort of like now America owns it. No, America doesn't. BlackRock owns it. Who does BlackRock has allegiance to? It's more like, it's more like the government owns allegiance to BlackRock, not BlackRock owning allegiance to the government. It's basically with one stand, suddenly BlackRock got a whole lot more influential in the world. BlackRock got influential and richer from probably they bought the place at half price. Because either you sell it to us at half price, or the Marines are gonna come and take it, and suddenly the president finds himself in a maximum security prison on the accusation of drug smuggling. All of these guys are somehow connected to drug smuggling. That's the business. That's how people get, the few that do get rich. That's how they get rich. Salute. Come on, Mr. Mitch McConnell's father-in-law I guess, had a stash arriving on one of his ships, or he was confiscated from one of his ships. I'm sorry, it was confiscated from one of his ships. I guess somebody didn't get paid. Anyway, or paid enough, so something got confiscated. But so so either down there, up everywhere. Apparently, those who do get rich, a lot of it apparently comes from the drug world. When you make it illegal, you send this price through the roof. Anyway, the alien would not want to be in any way associated with a society that is not enjoys eating the flesh of everything on this planet. So they probably wouldn't want to be associated with, just because of fear. Eventually everything will go, will become factory produced, and I think for the better, because everything on the menu and everything has to die to go on the just say it makes the alien feel oozy when walking through a meat market. Salute. If we eventually learn to make our meat in factories, I think the aliens would just feel just a little more safe around us. As soon as they as soon as they realize, at least we will not look at them as protein, because we get our protein from factories. So the alien would feel at least that much protected, that at least I'm not gonna be on the menu. And it seems some actually enjoy the suffering that they cause to their food. And I'm not talking about the Spanish bullfights. I watched one up close and personal in the stadium in Bogota, Colombia. I went to a bullfight and it was beautiful, because it was very fair. It was very fair. You got I don't know, 2 tons of bull on one side with 2 very sharp horns, and somebody is risking to dance with this motherfucker. And yes, at the end the bull dies. Yeah. Hey, if I was the bull and I could go that way, instead of going to some dark room and suddenly being hit up upside the head or shocked or however you kill your bulls in your country. But however I had to go, if I had the choice between going out of this world as a bull in a ring, in a bull ring, or go out of this world in a slaughterhouse, I would have preferred, as a bull, I would have preferred to die in a ring. That's a more glorious death than the death in a slaughterhouse that kills 1,000 cows a day, 1,000 bull a day. A slaughterhouse, I don't know what their numbers, but I think 1,000 can be done in 24 hours with the speed that these things kill and skin and clean and chop up. With the speed that they go, a big one probably can do 1,000 cattle headed a day of, slaughtering and processing and blah blah blah. Are you kidding me? Going out of this world like that, or in the ring of the bullfight, every time I would like to die as a bull in the ring instead of that slaughterhouse. Because, if you weren't eating meat in this format of killing animals and then eating them, if you weren't eating meat like that, then you would say, yeah, bullfighting is wrong because we don't kill animals to eat, so why would you kill this animal? But you don't say that. You say, no, what we are okay with a shot in the head in the dark, or electrocution, or however you dispatch your cows in your country. We are okay with that. We're just not okay watching a really interesting fight to the death. I would say you're kind of a hypocrite. You're taking away a glorious death from a Klingon, a male bull. You're taking away glorious death, but still condemning him to a very unimportant, ambiguous death. Questionable form of death. What happened? Suddenly the lights went out. I have a feeling on the picking the bulls day for between those who go to slaughterhouse and those who go to the ring to fight. I think all the bulls' hands should be up for fighting in the ring. Yeah, let's face it. As long as the bull is on the menu, you have no right to say no. We don't want to. Have them fighting to death. No. We just want to go shoot them in the dark. That's a very hypocritical move. And believe it or not, it's always the women who are especially very sensitive. The women who do the most of the cooking with bull meat are the ones who are more disturbed with the bull ring, which means women are more hypocrites than men. Mostly, the percentage in women of hypocrites in women is much higher. You like the bull in your pot, you just don't like it fighting? They like the same for their men. it would be a very good idea to start producing your proteins in factories. Let's not put off the aliens.